Hello, math students. Welcome back to our module on statistics and probability. This is lesson 10 called Using Sampling Variability. Our goal for today we will determine the importance of the sampling variability of different populations and compare them. The question that I want you to think about in this lesson is, what are three things you could use to determine the difference between sampling variability? All right, things to know. When talking about sampling variability, basically what you're doing is you are giving your information that you received from a random sample. And then once you get your information, you find the mean of that, and then you put it together with all the other data that you've collected, and you put it on a dot plot. And then once you've done that, you can see by the picture that gets produced from the dot plot what the sampling variability looks like. So sampling variability must be considered when deciding if there is evidence that the two population means are actually the same or different. Even though sample means are different, if the differences are close to zero or a larger distance, then the samples could be from the same population. Three ways to compare sample means are graph the sample means on a dot plot, determine what the center would be, and then determine the spread. By doing that, what you're able to do is you're actually able to see if the comparisons between the sampling means are coming from a similar situation or a different situation. The comparisons can be used to decide if the samples come from the same population or a different one. And then the differences between two sample means is considered to be meaningful if the difference is more than what you expect to see just based on the sampling variability. So if it looks like the dots are coming in like spaced a lot, so the variability is very, very high and it's very, very spread out, then that could be a sign that your data came from two different population means. And so that's what you're looking for when you're trying to use sampling variability to determine where your population came from. Does this set of data come from the same population, or does it come from a completely different one? So the whole point of this lesson is that you've got to be able to figure out what is the difference between the sampling means. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. You'll plot them on two separate plots. Then you are going to look at them, and if they have some overlap, then that's good. Overlap means that they actually have positions on their actual plots that mirror each other, even though they're on two separate ones. We've done it before by looking at where we had overlap, and then figuring out the deviations away from that. If there's a large amount of deviations that come out to making your MAD be 2 or more, then there's a very good chance that your population could be different. But if your MAD that you find between your two dot plots is 1 or less, then I would say you're probably looking at the fact that they come from the same population. There is no actual formula that helps you decide this. You just have to look from your data that's presented on the dot plots when you actually get it graphed. Okay? The best way to understand this really is to just take some data and get it on there and then have conversations, which is what we'll do in class when you have an opportunity to try it. So our goal today, we will determine the importance of the sampling variability of different populations and compare them. That's what we're going to do in class. What are the three things you could use to determine the differences of the sampling variability? The three things are, how do they look on a dot plot? Is there any overlapping spaces? What are the centers of both dot plots? And then what are the spreads of both dot plots? And you'll actually go a little bit deeper with that and even finding out what the means are between them so that you can compare them that way too. All right, kiddos, that's all I have for you today. Talk to you soon. Bye.